So these basically work on an energetic level. Is that what we're talking about? Like frequency? The frequency of the flower affects the frequency of your body?
Yes, sir. Yes, very much. What's wonderful is that it's so instantaneous. The flower essences, these are uncut flowers, which means that that's the only ones in the world like that, prepared in this way. And it was patented actually in 2000 and 2001, US, Canadian, and international patents, because it's so unique. The flower is prepared without cutting it, but in a very special way that conserves energies, which I'll probably get into that in some future recording. But what I call scalar energies, the true scalar energies are very complex, and they actually are linked to the mind of God, mind of creation. That's really what scalar energies and scalar potential goes up, into the higher dimensions beyond our space-time. And that's how the FlorAlive essences particularly work, by going into hyperspace and altering the way that our programming is held. That's hyperspace. That's beyond our 3- and 4-dimensional space that we're familiar with. It's up above that. And that actually is where memory is stored. Ancient times, they talked about the Akashic record, this place where all events are recorded. And so we get stuff stuck up there. And depending on how high that energy is, where it's located, at what dimension, it can be very difficult to access with physical techniques, such as, laying on of hands, or physical procedures may not reach that high. The FlorAlive flower essences reach way high up, and they reorganize our stored memory so that when we have memories of trauma, they can be reorganized. So Hartman, when I talked with Lorenzo, he said, what's one of the things that would be the greatest gift that we could have people get this time, with all of the chaos being created, the war stuff, going on. So we need to rise above that. And one way that we can do that is to make sure that our memories of loss is transformed, transmuted. So for this little, actually, look at that. If you spent that amount, you could get 6 bottles of this. You could change the lives of 6 people. Lorenzo is sensitive to these, and I think you could feel the energy, right, Lorenzo? You could actually feel the energy.
Yeah, I could smell the energy when I was near the plants. Yeah. When I came close to them, for me, they all had an interesting olfactory effect, of a pleasant one, I may add, which was very attractive.
The substance itself could not have an effect because there are no essential oils in it, but it does have a vibrational frequency, and you were sensing that. And other people as well. I don't, oddly. I make these things, but I can't tell a fragrance difference between them. But some patients come back in and they'll say, that stuff, I love it. It tastes wonderful. I look at them and I go, what?
I found the same thing. They did have a beautiful flowery taste, I have to say, when I tried them. To me, anyways, but yeah. Revival,
this is Revival. And it has, you can see the Maculina, blue-eyed grass. It has mayapple, tulip poplar, wild iris, and this amazing flower from northern Canada. And this Revival was the first combination essence that I made to change the belief, regardless of my efforts, I cannot influence the outcome. So just imagine if someone had that playing in their unconscious mind, regardless of my efforts, I cannot influence the outcome, they would feel pretty hopeless, right? They would feel defeated. So one of the great things about Revival is that it can break these patterns of just feeling hopeless, defeated. Tulip poplar raises self-esteem like I've hardly ever seen before. This is one of the patients, one of the early patients. He came in right after I got that formula. Now, I took these photos in my office, telling a person to look straight into the lens of the camera and hold their head like they would normally hold, looking straight. Look at the eyes there, look at the face. And 2 weeks later, doing no other therapy, only taking the flower essences, that's what happened. Now, people will say, oh, well, you told him to smile. No, we have this discussion on the website. All the individuals photographed were instructed, do not smile, maintain a resting expression. When there appears to be a smile in the after photo, it is because the resting expression is permanently changed. So the aspect ratio of the distance between the center of the iris and the center of the iris here, you measure that and superimpose those images. They're precisely superimposed. What that means is the aspect ratio of the photos from side to side are accurate. And if you see any changes in the facial architecture, it's because there are bony changes. So when a substance that theoretically has nothing in it except energy causes that kind of a shift and actually changes in the bony architecture of the face, something pretty powerful has got to be going on. There is also an actual change in the bony architecture of his face. That's in 2 weeks. Look at the self-esteem. Oh, God. It's like, dude, and I've seen him now. He did well as a patient, but that was the primary issues that he came to me for were fixed in 2 weeks. Yet I've run into him several times in Nashville. I saw him a few years ago, and he never regressed. That was a permanent change. Now, not everybody has that, but these are striking examples. That's another one. That's 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. She had had a great deal of trauma in her life. And this is another guy. Now, these are all those are patients that I saw. Never saw this fellow. I do remote. I prescribe things remotely. You can do that on the website. But he was in California, and just about 3 weeks later, big change. Just feel a lot less internal tension. This is the favorite one where I just kept telling her in the follow-up. She came in 2 weeks later, exactly. And kept saying, "Would you please stop smiling?" And then the way that happens is I tell them, close your eyes, maintain a resting expression, which is not smiling, and then open your eyes. When they open their eyes, then I snap the photo. And I'll generally do 3 or 4 photos to try and get an average of what's an accurate photo. And that is her resting expression. And the one before was when she came in telling me about the problems of being a single mom. She was a teacher. And that's the way she was. And then same thing, but she took a remedy. And that's what happened.
And is this all the same essence that they've taken?
No, these are different. They're different essences. Now, I believe she probably, these are all one, either a single flower in some cases or a combination. But for that period of time, yeah, they would typically take it anywhere between 3 times a day, and depending on the energy of the person, sometimes they could take it many times a day. And there's instruction about how to take these things on the website, how to take FlorAlive essences. And there's a very nice little document telling you how and why to take them in this way. This one was also marvelous. Saw her, gave a workshop in Southern California. I took that photo on the left. She sent me the photo on the right. Now, again, look at the girl. I mean, and she describes that she got this huge charge of energy and she was able to walk up her driveway. This is another great one. Now, I ended up treating this lady for a year. I gave her about 5 different remedies over the course of several months. And that was the most dramatic positive change. Then after that, there was a downturn and she ran into other things that were being called up out of the unconscious mind. So it's not all, ease and peace and light. So that's why when people are using FlorAlive and they have a good response, really, really encourage them to go back in and take more of the essences. This is a great one. The actual bony orbit changed. If we do cranial therapy and we look, she has a compression of the temporal area here. And that's all reversed here, substantially reversed. She noticed that. She said, look at the difference between these photos. And that was remarkable again. And, I saw that and I just went, oh my gosh. Pretty great, yeah. So, but I had so many of those, I had enough to show on the website. And this is in the resources section at the bottom of the website, of the FlorAlive.com website.